What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 24, and we start today's episode off with a U-Score monthly report here, so you can see how our three players are currently getting on in the academy. Marco, Ryan, Tala, and two Canadian players in there as well. I don't know whether the Canadian players will succeed for Watford. They'll certainly get some game time for the country, as they're probably just as good as certain options out there as well. But for Watford, I'm not too sure they'll do well enough. But for Ryan Tala, as we've now entered May, he is going to be getting promoted to the first team at the end of this episode. As you can tell with the title, this is the final episode of the first season, and he will be getting promoted to the first team come the end of this episode, and you'll be able to see just how good he looks. Still following that, we had a squad report there. You can see how some of the players are currently getting on, and also a look at the league table as well. As you can see, with just 2 games to go, we are in 5th place and 2 points behind Manchester United, who currently sit in 4th. They do have a game in hand on us, though. It is worth noting, but there is still a possible chance we could overtake them and finish the dream season with a fantastic achievement of finishing in the top 4. Still following that, we had some training as well, and also another monthly scouting update too. Our Norwegian scout is currently based in Canada, and a couple of you guys asked me actually a couple episodes ago when I had a scouting update why I'm not signing certain players that have potential to hit 90 straight away. It's because I like to keep them in the scouting update for at least 2 months onwards. I know there's a risk they could possibly get snapped up by another team, but I like to do that just because it does mean that when you do get them, there's a better you get more of an accurate reading as to how good they could possibly be, I suppose. And there you go. Still, we take on Liverpool for the first game of today's episode here, and as you can see, sadly, despite at the start of the episode you saw the league table, there was still a chance of us finishing in the top 4. Manchester United not only played their game in hand, but also played a game after that, won them both, and because of that, it does mean we are too many points behind them and cannot catch up and reach into 4th place come the end of the season. So, really disappointed about that, but sadly, it does mean that these 2 final games of the season, which I was really excited to play when I turned my PS4 on last night. Couldn't wait to play them because we could possibly get into the top 4. Sadly, now they meant pretty much nothing really, and the highest we could finish is 5th place. And because we've already finished as Capital One Cup winners this season, we've already qualified for the Europa League anyway, so 5th doesn't really matter. But still, we do want to win them regardless, despite the fact there's no motivation for the Champions League now. And we would get the first goal of the game as well in this game here at Anfield. Denon Lewis getting his first goal of the season. He's came in free Barbo and looked a lot better than the Colombian winger since I installed him into the first team. Looks like a pretty decent winger, up to 67 overall now, I think. And he's he's still in his teens. I can't remember the actual age. I think it's 18. But still in his teens regardless. Looks very good for the future. And he does make it Liverpool 0, Watford 1. But sadly for us, we would concede 13 minutes after the restart. And this season, we've been the league's best defenders. We've been absolutely fantastic at the back, only letting 18 goals this season coming into this game. But sadly, this is the 19th goal we let in, and it's probably the worst goal we let in. Enrique swings across into the centre. First, Redeval mistimes his jump, misses the ball, and then Belkalem in the centre. I don't know what he was trying to do there, but just gifted it straight to Christian Benteke, and the former Aston Villa man makes it Liverpool 1, Watford 1. So Liverpool are back on level terms. In the 69th minute, they had a chance to win the game. Here is Benteke, finds Coutinho, goes for goal, but Jack Butler makes a really good save and is determined not to be beaten for a second time. So good stop there by Butler, and it was still 1-1. And it was how the game would finish as well. Final score, Liverpool 1, Watford 1. So first Lewis, then Benteke, and both sides get a share of the points. So that's totally fine for me. It was a really balanced game, to be honest. Both sides looked really good in front of goal, but just couldn't get more than 1 goal each. And both sides looked pretty tight defensively as well when they needed to be. So I think a 1-1 draw was the fair result. Stats showed that as well, and it's okay for me. It's just a real shame, because it was such an anti-climax, coming into this game. I was just thinking beforehand, I was so excited when I turned the PS4 on, thinking maybe, just maybe, I could get Watford into the Champions League. But sadly, after United played those 2 games, it meant that we just wouldn't be able to catch up to them. And it meant the games basically didn't exactly mean nothing, because you still do want to finish as high as possible in the table. But I really wouldn't blame my players for thinking about their summer holidays, to be honest, because the fact of the matter is, because we've won the Capital One Cup, we don't need 5th to get a Europa League place for next season. Certain teams may need to finish in 5th. We don't need that anymore because we won the Capital one cup. That means we're guaranteed to guaranteed to play, in Europa League next season. So it's a shame, like it really is a shame because I was just so determined to get Watford into the Champions League. You guys have absolutely no idea. It would have been an amazing achievement to do it in the first season, but oh well, there you go. We'll have to look at next season, and maybe then we'll get ourselves into the top four for the first time in the series. Still, we take on Sunderland for the second and final game of today's episode here, the 38th and final one of the Premier League season. So the only position up to grabs was 5th place, which essentially meant nothing. But the first chance of the game would fall to us in the 27th minute, and Bertrand Traore scored a really, really nice goal as well. We played the ball down the right-hand side to Traore, who cut past one with the Berber spin, then the roulette, and then a great finish as well, and then a, well, less than great celebration. Not entirely sure what that was supposed to be, but either way, Traore gets the goal. It is a really nice goal. The celebration made it look a little bit worse, I think, but it was a really nice goal. Lovely little Berber spin and a crisp roulette too, and that's a very composed finish into the top corner, and Pantilimon can't get to it. So good finish there by Traore, and it's Watford 1, Sunderland 0. Been a pretty good signing for us, Bertrand Traore from Chelsea, one of the first signings we made. He's now got his 4th goal in the Premier League this season. He's also the league's highest assist man as well, if that makes sense. He's got the most assists in the Premier League season this year, and he does make it Watford 1, Sunderland 0 in this game. And in the 43rd minute, we had a good chance to make it 2-0 as Cook plays the ball through towards Damari Gray, and if it wasn't for a great save by the former City goalkeeper, Gray would have made it 2-0. Fantastic stop there, and it was still Watford 1, Sunderland 0. But in the first half, we were the far better side. In the 45th minute on the stroke of half-time, Sam Byron sprints down left-hand side, whips across into the centre, and Felivi was denied an absolutely fantastic no-look shot goal by Pantilimon. It fell to Traore. His first shot was blocked, but it came back to him again, and at the third time of asking, Bertrand Traore gets his second goal of the game, and our second goal of the game. So disappointed Felivi wasn't able to score that one, and Pantilimon made the save. That would have been a fantastic goal there, the no-look shot there, but sadly we didn't get Felivi's goal, but Traore did score. That's the most important thing, and he made it Watford 2, Sunderland 0. And at half-time, as you can see, I've talked about this a few times already this season, but seriously, possession on this game is all the AI seem to care about. Evidently in this game for Sunderland, 55% possession at half-time, but 0 shots and 0 on target, and only 5% of the 45 minutes was spent in our final third. But still, in the second half, not much really happened, to be honest. Sunderland, once again, were just playing for possession and nothing else, really, but they would get themselves a goal here through Lenz, who scored against me at the Stadium of Light in the game we lost by 2-1. That was a fantastic finish there by the Sunderland number 17, and he gets his 9th goal of the season to make it Watford 2, Sunderland 1. But despite them scoring late on in the second half, after that, nothing really happened, to be honest. It's funny, but the game at the Stadium of Light was quite uneventful as well. This one was the same, at least for the second half. Sunderland, again, just played for possession and rarely even got close to our goal in that game, despite the goal they scored. It was very, very frustrating, and I can't even remember them actually getting into our box and making Butland consider having to come out and close down angles. But still, that was how the game would finish. Watford 2, Sunderland 1, 2 goals for Traore and 1 for Lenz, and that ended the Premier League season as well. So you saw our prize money there. We do end up finishing in 5th place. A draw would have been enough on the final day to finish in 5th place after Spurs could only manage to draw themselves. But as you can see, the final league table here, sitting in 5th place, 66 points from 38 games. That is a fantastic achievement for a first season, despite missing out on the top 4. 18 draws is just a bit ridiculous, let's be honest here. That's a joint Premier League record, I do believe. But either way, what can you do? But still, following that, look at the cups as well. Manchester United won the FA Cup, and of course, we won the Capital One Cup. Goalkeeper of the Premier League went to Jack Butland. Thomas Muller won Golden Boot, but Deeney also got the same amount of goals as him as well. And also, player of the competition was Jack Butland too, as our shot stopper was fantastic this season. Still, as you can see, the top scorer chart there, Deeney and Muller were both tied at the top with 18, but it was given to Muller for some reason, despite Deeney being listed as number 1 and Muller as number 2. Not sure why that was. But in the assist column there, Traore was the top assist maker, Butland had the most clean sheets, and when Deeney's joint top goal scorer as well. I mean, that's pretty impressive, isn't it? The most clean sheets going to our goalkeeper, joint most goals going to our striker and our captain, and the most assists on their own going to Traore, a new signing for us, playing in the wing position despite listed as a striker. So a really impressive season for us this year. I think everything came together really nicely, and I just feel as though, I will promise to shut up about it in a second, but I know that missing out on the top 4 was absolutely gutting because I was just so desperate to do it. How amazing would it have been to get Champions League football at Vicarage Road from season 2 onwards? Would have been incredible, but either way, you got to look at the positives. What a fantastic first season for us. We shifted on loads of deadwood. We've brought in some very, very very good young talent, some very good young players into the side. We've improved the first 11 as well. The average age has gone down at this Watford team too, and to have Europa League football next season as well, not to mention already having an honour in a Capital One Cup in the trophy room. It's been a great first season, a great debut season, and we are really set up well with Watford. It's not been the first season where all the experience has carried us over the line. It's been all about the kids in this season. They've done very well. All the young players have done very well this season, and the players we brought in too have been good, have been looking good for the future as well. So yeah, I'm excited for the future with Watford. I really am. It's got so much young talent, and I know for a fact that here at Vicarage Road we can have a lot more success than just the Capital One Cup in years to come. I think we can become a very good side. Still following out, I did decide to promote Marco Ryan Tala to the team. As you can see, 64 overall, 18-year-old left winger, has the potential to be special, which is fantastic. A bit sad that he's only got 3-star skills, to be honest. I mean, it's better than 2 or 1, obviously, that you sometimes get with academy players, so that's good. But for a winger, I always like them to have 4-star skills, but sadly 3-star only. It's not too bad. He can also play central midfield as well, but due to his stats, I'm not sure I will play him there. But either way, he looks pretty good as a player coming out of the academy, having the potential to be special as well. And next season, I'll either send him out on loan or put him straight in the first team. I'm not too sure, to be honest. I mean, if he does go into the first team, he may not be a first 11 player, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. He does look good initially, though. And there you go. Still following out, we also had a youth player wanting to terminate a contract to Callum McKendry, the Canadian central midfielder, 60 overall, 17 years old. No status, so no potential to get too good. Medium-high work rates, 2-star weak foot, 3-star skills. He looks alright, but I don't think he's going to succeed here at Watford. Maybe he'll play some games for Canada, but I can't see him getting too much game time for Watford. And there you go. And also some more training to end the episode off, and also look at our contracts as well. We've got loads of players that have their contracts up in the next 2 months. As you can see, though, I only offer contracts to 2 players. One is Michael Falevi, who I promised I was going to give a contract to anyway. He's very talented, 64 overall, I think he is. The teenager has already bagged 2 goals as well in his debut season for us as well. And also Juan Fran, the Spanish right back as well. I was considering Alpha Young and Lloyd Doyley. Doyley because he's a one-club player. He's been at Watford for all his career, and it would be a shame to let him go. But he hasn't played a single game for us in all competitions this season, and is pretty much, I wouldn't say a waste of wages, but he's just not really required here at Watford. And as for Alpha Young, does look like a pretty decent young centre-back, but only 5'10", and also better centre-back options here already. I don't think he's going to get too much game time. I don't think he'll ever get used, to be honest. But as for Juan Fran, definitely want to get him to a new contract. He looks good enough to be sold, if nothing else, for a couple of million, so I don't want to miss out on getting any money for him if I do want to sell him next season, or play him as a backup right back for Neom, who played really well for us this season. And of course, Falevi accepted his contract, so that was great to see, and that means that the young striker will be staying here for a few more years. Still following out another scout report, and also as well, you can see player contracts expiring, another email to let us know. Some of those players will be getting released, and that's totally fine with me. Juan Fran and also Falevi will be staying. Those are the only 2 I wanted, and the rest of them can go. Even though some of them may look okay for the future, like Alfie Young and Mensah, they're not going to get enough game time, and we won't ever see them hit their potentials and be good enough for the Watford team. Still, that does in the episode, guys. So as you can see, we end it here with the player training, and also seeing that the Watford board are very happy with us, unsurprisingly. Thought it was a fantastic season. So that does in the episode, so thank you very much for watching, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below, how do you think this first season was? Rate it for me. How do you think it was? I'm going to go with 8 out of 10 for our first season. I think it was really impressive. Yes, of course, missing out on the Champions League was very disappointing, but an honour in our first season in the Capital One Cup, finishing in 5th as well. Very impressive, and also some good improvements made to the side as well. But thanks very much for watching, guys. Really hope you have enjoyed it. Don't forget to let me know what you thought about the season. Rate it in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.